A Christmas meditation. Well, in September here in the Philippines, they start the Christmas decorations. They don't really have complete Christmas mayhem like they do in the U.S. after the day after Thanksgiving. They don't set everything up, but they begin. So you can see a few Christmas trees on display if you look for them at the department store. If you listen to the music coming over the intercom while you're shopping, occasionally you can catch a Christmas song. Now it's late October, almost November, and you can really feel quite a bit of the Christmas spirit here. A lot of the decorations are up on the streets, on the street lights. A lot of the Christmas trees and Christmas tree ornaments and so forth. A lot of the Christmas-oriented decorations are dominating sections of the department store. Other stores have Christmas trees set up. The mall has a Christmas tree set up. So you can get really into the Christmas spirit. They still don't have non-stop Christmas music. It's still mostly secular music, but occasionally you do hear Christmas songs. It's nice. I really like it. I'm kind of a sucker for that kind of thing. My wife set up a Christmas tree. The decorations are still kind of experimental as far as the arrangement goes. So I felt a little bit shy about it, so I'm not really going to post pictures of the Christmas tree. To me, I don't know. To me, it seems kind of intimate, actually, a Christmas tree. It's like you're inviting close friends in, kind of like pictures of, I don't know, the bedroom or something. So it just seems odd for me to post pictures of my Christmas tree. So I'm just going to post a picture of me kind of deep in thought at the edge of a volcanic crater here in the Philippines. We went out to dinner, beautiful scenic view. And, I just never get tired of the view. And I tell people, hey, the U.S. has the Grand Canyon, that's true, but we've got Tagaytay. Tagaytay in the Philippines is really an amazing view. You can just see, I don't know how many miles you can see. It's amazing. But I have to say, the reason why I'm recording this Christmas meditation is because Christmas for me is really a bittersweet kind of experience. Because when I hear certain Christmas hymns, I can't think of any right now. A Joy to the World, okay, for example. Oh, A Little Town of Bethlehem, okay. When I hear certain Christmas hymns, it jars me a little bit because I remember those really warm, maybe warm's not the right word. Christmas was often a very, very cold time of year in Kansas City, but warm emotionally. Those warm experiences in Christmas where we would occupy a whole pew at church. Everybody would be singing together the same hymn. And then during Advent, during the weeks building up to Christmas, we would light the Advent candle. We would make these Advent wreaths at church, in school, Sunday school. And my mom would choose which one we would use for the Christmas season. It was always a big honor, she chose my Christmas wreath, And it was really kind of humbling for me because I was the youngest by far. Most of my brothers and sisters were teenagers or already going away to college. And I was just now making these Christmas wreaths, and mine were kind of, very humble, to say the least, kind of junky looking, I wouldn't have saved it if I was a parent. But anyway, it's kind of an honor to have your Christmas wreath, Advent wreath chosen, and then to, have your dad lighting a candle on it every week. And then you would read from the Bible, at the dinner table. And Christmas was really a very religious experience for me growing up. And now, seeing the degradation in my family and how my mother was just completely abandoned in this nursing home, it's really hard. I came up as often as I could. I took FMLA, paid vacation. I had the doctors sign off all the paperwork. It was completely legit. I took paid sick leave to come up and take my mom to church. There was no debate about the benefit it did her to get her out of that nursing home. The staff of the nursing home loved it. Her doctors loved it. Her physical therapist loved it. The physical therapist gave me classes in how to move her from the wheelchair into the car. So it was beautiful, taking my mom to church, especially around Christmas, around her birthday. Her birthday was November 1st. Really, amazing. The church would, be getting ready. Some places would be getting ready for Christmassy kind of decorations, and it's really nice, to come up and take my mom to church for those occasions. But it was just me and her at church, and I would remember, the experiences of going to church with a big family, and every single person in my family has left Christianity. There's no Christians left in my family. There are family members who identify themselves as Christian, but they don't go to church. They certainly don't believe anything that the apostles would have taught, okay? When I was growing up in the 1970s, the Lutheran church that I went to was just starting to teach this idea of tolerance towards others. Inclusion is what it was called. That's the key word there, inclusion. So when I was going through confirmation class, I just got upset because I was being forced to lie. And my teacher told me, I can't let you pass confirmation class unless you tell me you believe that Jesus Christ was resurrected on Easter. And I said, no, I can't. It's stupid. Nobody believes that. And those were the words I used. And she took me to the pastor's office. And the pastor, who was a dean later on at a Lutheran seminary, was really very serious, kind of, tapping his pen on the desk while he listened to my objections. And I told him that I don't believe in the resurrection. It seems stupid to me. Or actually, I just said straight out, it's stupid. Nobody believes that. And so he told me that the Lutheran Church was inclusive, and that my views were welcome in the Lutheran Church, and that I would be allowed to pass confirmation, even though I believed that. Well, immediately, right then, my respect for the church collapsed, because even at that age, I forget what age my confirmation was, 5th grade or 4th grade or something, but I was fairly well read, and I knew about the martyrs being condemned to death for refusing to deny the religion. And later on, years later, I refused to be a believing Christian, basically, from that moment on. And years later, I would read about St. Polycarp and Pope Clement. Okay, both of them knew apostles, and they were bishops and the Pope. And I would read about Pliny the Younger, who was governor of what's now part of Syria and Turkey. And he was complaining to the Emperor Trajan that all of the people had abandoned the pagan temples and these ancient pagan traditions and rites that were thousands of years old. They just stopped doing it all because of this new religion, Christianity. And he started forcing them to go back to the pagan temples. And they did. They did reluctantly, but they did. And, when you read stuff like that and you realize what Christianity was at the time, clearly it was something that was taught. Clearly it was something that was communicable from generation to generation. They communicated something. These bishops, these popes, knew the apostles personally. And a generation after Clement and Polycarp, you had Pliny the Younger writing about, his whole region was completely transformed by this religion. And then, of course, you've got other things like the death of the god Pan. You've got all of the oracles that just mysteriously stopped working. All these pagan temples just stopped getting their supernatural support. it's really interesting, and you read about that stuff and you realize how real Christianity is. And then later on, of course, I would go to a Jesuit college, and the Jesuits would completely transform my life and turn me around and educate me and teach me that it's good to read, to understand the ways of your opposition, to listen to opposing views, and to consider them. And that just blew my mind because I never considered myself a fascist before, but I really was. I was raised in a very fascistic environment where you have to obey what I believe, or else I'm going to censor you. I'm going to ostracize you. I'm going to shut you up somehow if you don't agree with what I believe. And that's the way I was. That's the environment in which I was raised. And once your eyes are opened, to what Christianity really is, and you start seeing the truth that's in the message, then you know you start to understand things like Christmas, what you feel, the joy, the warmth, where all that comes from, the love. And you start to see the coldness in people that have turned away from it, and you start to see the mental illness in so many people that have shunned Christianity and blocked it out of their lives. And then you start to see the gentle warmth, like of my mother trapped in the nursing home, but she would still, she would cry when she'd go to church because it's so beautiful and she understood it. So it's difficult for me at Christmas because all these memories wash up to me, wash over me. And I remember how beautiful my childhood was, and then how difficult those same people from my childhood, how difficult they are to be around now. And they don't see it, People outside the church just don't see it. It's like being in a house surrounded by people who believe that nails are evil, and they're searching for any nails hidden in the walls or ceiling, and they're yanking them out. And as the house begins to collapse, they go frantic, searching for more and more nails to pull out to help solve the house. And when you try to explain engineering to them, or basic construction techniques, they get angry at you, because you're being oppressive and you're not listening to their point of view, Interesting stuff. But good King Wenceslas. that's my Christmas tip of the day. I think you should listen to that. It's a beautiful hymn. Well, take care. Merry Christmas.